Hi, my name is Giovanni DiFeterici, and I'm the author of the Web Designer's Roadmap. And in the Web Designer's Roadmap, I try to cover the entire web design process from a creative standpoint, so that as you're designing your web pages for clients, you can look at the practical problems that clients present to you and figure out creative ways and creative solutions of solving those problems. So to do that, I try to walk through each one of the phases of the design process and address each one of those from not only a practical standpoint, but also a creative standpoint. Because I think that the way that the practical and the creative work together is key to creating beautiful and engaging websites. Some of the phases that we address in the Web Designer's Roadmap are client communication. How can you use visual assets and techniques to communicate effectively with your client so that they understand what you are trying to accomplish and you understand what they need to accomplish for their business purposes. Another part of the process is figuring out what exactly the client's problems are so that you can have a purpose-driven design that solves those problems in a realistic way. In the Web Designer's Roadmap, I also spend a lot of time covering the visuals that we use as designers, what they mean, how they communicate ideas, and how to use them creatively when you're designing your web pages. There have been a lot of changes in the web design industry recently. A lot of new processes have been added to the web design pipeline. Things like responsive design, which is often talked about as a technical problem, but really has a very few technical aspects to it. But one of the biggest problems to moving from fixed width design to responsive design is how do you approach the problem? How do you figure out how to make a design that is responsive when you've always thought about fixed width designs? So I go into that a lot about how to approach these new processes from a conceptual level so that you can incorporate them without having to deal with all of the technical hurdles. To gather material for the Web Designer's Roadmap, I spent a lot of time conducting interviews with some of the best and brightest thinkers in our industry. I spent a lot of time talking to people like Meagan Fisher, who is really well known for her incredibly specific style, her lush visuals, and why she approaches projects in that way. I spoke to people like Don Norman, who is an absolute legend in the field of user experience, about what it means to actually be a designer and what the role of a designer is when it comes to making something like a website. I spoke to really creative people like Jessica Hish and how she talks to clients about the kind of creative projects that she does. She's really well known for her typographic work, and she's worked on everything from film to websites to print, and so she has a lot to say about that thing. So I spent a lot of time talking to people and getting their input. So it's not just my opinion in this book. I wanted there to be a broad spectrum of ideas so that every reader could find something worthwhile for them.